What's up, Scorpio? How are you guys doing? It is time for your weekly check-in. Excuse me. We're going to see what's going on with you guys in the third week of July. So remember, weekly check-ins are just a short, sweet, quick, general, energetic overview. If you need a personal reading, you can find all the information on how to go about doing that right down here in the description of the video, okay? If you're catching this on time, tomorrow, July 12th, Saturday, is going to be our next round of weekly live readings. And we got a surprise for the weekly live readings. From now on, the weekly live readings have officially gone back to the old school price of $22.22. Just like the good old days, man. We had to feel it out there for a little bit because we had never done it here on my main channel before. So we didn't want to get too overwhelmed. But we got a feel for it of, how the flow is going to work. So we feel comfortable taking it back to the old school price, the way it was since day one. So you can pre-order anytime on my website. The list of pre-orders now is still pretty small. So if you order now, you will be in the front of the line. Also, don't forget to check out them new general personal readings I got, man. Them things are so quick and easy. You don't need to ask any questions. You don't need to tell me anything if you don't want to. You can if you want. There's a place for notes, but all you got to do is click the little section you need read and let me do the rest. Quick, simple, easy, and very budget friendly. Everything else is in the description of the video. Let's just go ahead and jump into this. I don't want to babble too much. Let's see what we can tell Scorpio about their situation and the person they're dealing with, universe. Third week of July. What can we tell Scorpio? Third week of July. Uh-oh, Queen of Pentacles reversed. That's not good. I don't like that when that comes out. Because you know what that means? That means it's affecting you. And it's been affecting you. And here's my thing about Queen of Pentacles reversed in a situation like this. It's been affecting you, and you've been doing a really good job like pushing through it and not letting it be obvious that it's affecting you. And now you may not be realizing it, but it's starting to become kind of obvious that it's affecting you. You may not realize it. Some of you may have some people approach you. Maybe a coworker, your boss, maybe friends or family asking you, something bothering you? You don't seem like yourself here lately. People are starting to be able to tell. People can tell this is bothering you. So some of you dealing with an earth sign, possibly. Boom, boom, boom. Two of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. Oh, 5 of Wands. Oh, shit. Kind of feeling like there's going to be a little conversation here. I'm thinking communication's happening. You know what, though? That might help you. That might help you. I see that come through a lot. I'd never really thought about that until I started reading tarot. Because I see that come through these readings so frequently that this is bothering you. People are starting to kind of tell that it's bothering you. So the universe will give you a little conversation with this person. And it don't take long at all. Boom. You get a real quick reminder of just what you've been missing out on. And you're like, ooh, nah, never mind. Fuck that. Fuck that. What the hell was wrong with me? So it might actually help you stand on your own 2 feet better than you thought you could. Yeah. I'm thinking this is actually going to be able to help you move on from this a little bit. You may not be wanting to. And up until the point that this happens, you may get upset hearing me say that. Wait till it happens. Wait till it happens. You'd be like, fuck that shit, you know? Some of you dealing with a Cancer. That's the only major arcana I have here. All right, let's get to the good shit. Let's see their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. Person Scorpio's dealing with. Truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. See, they don't give a shit. King of Swords. They're doing the best they can to, well, hang on. Let me get the rest of the spread out. Hold up. Eight of Pentacles reverse. They don't want to work on this. They don't want to do their half of the work. Seven of Swords. See, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. They don't care. This person is a sneaky, deceitful, lying ass, smoke blowing ass fuckbag is what they are. That's what they are. So then what would their intentions be? Why do they want to talk to you? Probably just to see if they still have some emotional control over you. Just to test and see if they still have some emotional power over you. And if they get the sense that they don't, they're going to try to gain emotional power over you. How do they do that? Any fucking way they can. Little sneaky, covert, backhanded compliments. You know, they say that one little thing that they know digs up under your skin. You know, they'll do anything that they can. And you know what their worst fear is? Their worst fear is when they push one of your emotional buttons and nothing happens. That's their worst fear. Their worst fear is when they say that one thing that triggers you and they get no reaction out of you. None. None, 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 none. Nothing. Cold. That's their worst fear. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. This isn't the advice yet. So, yeah. I don't like this energy. I don't like it. Let's get the advice. We got that outcome with that Five of Wands in the first spread. What's the advice for Scorpio? Tower. Well, see, this is one of them things where this is the trickiest part about advice. Some things have to play out the way they're going to play out. Period. End of discussion, end of story. And giving advice that will, like basically giving you a cheat code so that you can avoid the whole thing, will be doing you a disservice. Because there's lessons that need to be learned. Like I said, let's say you're just still holding on to this, right? And I just tell you to stay away from this person. And you only fucking do it because I told you to and you trust me. Well, you're still holding on to it. You're still holding on to it, though. You didn't really see what you needed to see that allows you to let go of it. You know? Where that conversation and that little quick little swift reminder of what you're dealing with here was actually beneficial to you because it's helping you let go of it. The only thing I'm going to say is this. Not only, well, has this person changed? Yes, they've changed for the worse. They've not gotten better. If you remember even a fraction of what you were dealing with, it's worse than that now. That's all I'm going to say. Take that information and do with it what you will. Let's see what's coming in for the singles. What's coming in for single Scorpios? Doo-doo-doo. What's coming in for the single Scorpios? Communication. That's good. Communicating with somebody new. Let's see where this goes. I got a good feeling about it. I could be wrong though. Ah, look at that. Communication. Somebody coming in real strong. But then there's always this, isn't there? There's always that in the mix. You're a little bit nervous. A little bit nervous. Afraid of wasting your time. Now, so, like I said, I have a good feeling because so far, I'm not really getting any bad vibes in here. When I say bad vibes, I mean bad intentions. There could be, but it's not showing through, and I'm not feeling that right now. That doesn't mean that your feelings of being nervous are invalid. But I'm not really feeling bad vibes coming off of this next person coming in. Maybe a little bit immature, you know, but that doesn't intrinsically make them a bad person just because they're immature. Got all these knights and a page. Not a single king nor a single queen. So maybe they're just coming on a little strong, a little bit love bombing, you know. Maybe it kind of reminds you of the last time somebody came on strong. You know, swooped in, swept you up, and then it turned out to be a living fucking nightmare, and you're like, oh shit, I ain't doing that again. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Could be a Virgo for some of you. Let's see. What are their intentions? Their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. They feel a strong connection with you. They really do. They really do. They're a little bit nervous too. Don't get it twisted. They're nervous too. And they're afraid of abandonment. They are afraid of rejection. Honestly, I ain't got nothing bad to say about this person other than the fact that they just look really immature. Now, that can still ruin things. I'm not saying that it can't. When I look at somebody's intentions, that does not mean that they will or will not be a good person or will not do good things. It's just to give you the opportunity to make your own decision about whether or not you will or will not excuse shitty behavior. I know I've told you all this. But you think about it. Sometimes somebody can do something fucked up. But if I know what your intentions were, I'll let that slide. I know what you meant by it. I'll let it slide. There's other things that it's like, no, fuck your intentions. You crossed the line. I don't care how you meant it. You crossed the fucking line. Where do you draw that line? That's up to you. That is completely and totally idiosyncratic. That is very, very subjective. And that's why I read their intentions. If I tell you that their intentions aren't coming from a bad place, that's up to you to decide. Okay, am I willing to let this slide, or am I saying, nah, it's a fucking deal breaker? So let's just get the advice on this. I've got to waste a bunch of time. Let's get the advice. Well, first of all, if anything makes you feel uncomfortable, you let that be fucking known. Right off the rip. If they're coming on too strong, let them know that. Whoa, slow the fuck down. Hold up. Relax. You know, let it be known if something doesn't feel right. And set some fucking boundaries. Yo, we're going to take this shit slow. I don't know what I want just yet. You know, don't push too hard. Just relax, talk, and get to know each other and whatnot. And just see how they respond to that. And, you know, ultimately just see if the energy ever starts feeling any better. Usually, though, honestly, most of the time when it feels that uncomfortable straight off the rip, it's rare that the energy comes together and starts flowing smoothly. It can. I've seen it happen a few times, but at least give it the chance. At least give it the chance. But yeah, for those of you who are wondering whether or not walking away from this is a bad decision, no, it's not. It's not a bad decision. There is potential here. The question is it worth it to you? Now, I'm not here to tell you if something's worth it or not. I get that question every now and then, and that question kind of digs up under my skin when people ask me that. Is it worth it? You're giving me way too much of your power by asking me that. I can't tell you what you think is worth it. I can tell you what I would think is worth it. I wouldn't fuck with it. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. Maybe you could potentially take this situation and do something better with it than I could. I don't have the patience for that. Now, I'm not going to sit and explain myself, but just me personally, I wouldn't fuck with all that. If somebody's making me feel weird like that from the get-go, I'm the type that your first impression is, it's hard to undo that. If you make a real weird first impression on me, it's going to be hard to undo that. That's just the way I always am, you know. But I'm not saying you should be that way. Because there is potential here. There is. Do you think it's worth trying to work through this weird, awkward energy in the beginning? Is it worth possibly wasting your time? That's the question. You may possibly waste your fucking time. Or it may possibly turn into the best fucking thing that ever happened to you. Is it worth taking that risk? I'm not here to say that it is or it's not. Just because I don't think it is personally doesn't mean that my way is the right way and yours is the wrong way. Everybody's different on that. But if you do feel like walking away from it and you're trapped, wondering if you're making the right decision, don't sweat it. If you want to walk away, just fucking walk away. Okay? All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Scorpio family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is down there in the description. And don't forget, tomorrow, Saturday, July 12th, is our next round of weekly live readings. And we got a surprise for the weekly live readings. The weekly live readings have now officially, permanently, gone back to the old school price of $22.22. That's a permanent change. We had to feel it out for a little bit. We weren't sure what it was going to be like doing it on this channel. Because those of you who have been with me for years, you know that we always did the live readings on a different channel with a much smaller audience. Much, much, much smaller. Like way fucking smaller. So we were afraid. So that's why we jacked the price up a little bit so that we wouldn't get too overwhelmed on this channel. Now we got a good feel for it. We felt it out for several weeks. So we feel safe to bring it back down to the old school price. So remember, you can pre-order if you want. Right now, the list of pre-orders is still pretty small. So if you order now, you'll be in the front of the line. right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here now. I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity.